Hello dear yogis, welcome back to another session of vinyasa yoga. Today we're going to focus mainly on the hips. You won't necessarily need props, but as always, if it's in your practice or you know that it's very tight and the floor sometimes moves away from you, then I would recommend keeping two yoga blocks handy or books if you don't have blocks. So go and grab whatever you need. I'll wait for you here and I'll meet you back on your mat. We're going to start our practice today lying down. So you can make your way onto the back. And we're going to take just a few seconds to settle into the space, into the present moment, and onto our mats. So you can come into Shavasana, just lying down, allow the body to be very relaxed, arms next to your side, palms face up. Just follow your inhalation and your exhalation. And become aware of where your body is in contact with your mat. And allow that feeling to be your anchor. So throughout your practice today, if you feel like your thoughts are wandering, you are going back to your to-do list, or whatever is worrying you, then you can use your mat as a simple anchor to bring you back into the present moment and into your practice. We don't want to waste our precious practice time with worrying about things that we can't change right now. Good. If you had the eyes closed, gently open them. Let's just wake up so you can reach the arms up overhead as you inhale. Wake up the body from the fingertips to the toes. And as you exhale, hug both knees into the chest. We're going to start with hip rolls just to wake up that area before we get into the rest of the class. So you can keep the left leg hugged in, extend the right leg out, bring it down to the floor. And you can either use your left hand to guide the knee if you feel like the hip isn't very stable. Otherwise, you can release your hands down to the floor. And we're just going to draw big circles with the knee. So we're going to move in one direction first, drawing big circles with the knee. Use the full range of motion. And allow the breath to guide you. Quite long inhalations and exhalations. And let's move in the opposite direction. This can sometimes be a bit of a coordination challenge if you're doing it for the first time. So all you want to focus on is getting movement into that hip joint. Lovely. And we hug that knee back into the chest, and then we'll swap sides. So hug the right knee in, extend the left leg down to the floor. Hug it in close, creating space, and then again either using the hand to guide the knee or bringing both hands down to the floor. And we start to draw circles with the knee in one direction first. Let's move in the opposite direction now. Nice. Lovely. And let's hug both knees into the chest. From here, we're going to rock straight up into Baddha Konasana, so the soles of the feet together. So get a bit of momentum, rock up, come to seated, bringing the soles of the feet together, drawing the heels in close to the groin, and the knees open up to the side as much as you can. If it's very intense, just send the feet out in front of you a little further, and that will release the pressure. You can interlace the hands or grab hold of the ankles depending on your flexibility today. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine, crown of the head reaches to the sky, and we fold forward just as far as you can. You can also gently use the elbows to guide the knees closer to the floor, but please be very gentle. You don't want to overstretch. That groin muscle can be a pain to heal. Just 2 more breaths. And we release out. We're going to make our way onto all fours now, so you can cross through the legs or send them out to the side and just make your way onto your tabletop. We'll do just 3 cat-cows here, always nice to include in your practice to loosen up through the spine. So we'll take an inhale, arch through the back, crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, round through the back for cat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Come to neutral back, and we'll move into our first downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under, send the hips up to the sky, and make any movements as usual that feels good. And in our down dog, we want to bring our awareness into the spine, having a nice straight spine, and not being too worried about having perfectly straight legs or the heels touching. That comes over time. Take a moment to settle, feel the body waking up. Now from here we're going to start to walk the hands back toward the feet. Good. And move the feet out about hip width distance apart. Allow the toes to move to the long sides of the mat. We're setting up for Malasana squat pose. So from here, sink the hips down and come to seated. If you're up in the air, you can always use blocks or roll up your mat if it's really uncomfortable for you. Other than that, place your hands at heart center. Again, we use the elbows to gently pry open the knees. Lengthen through the spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. Good. From here, we're going to walk our way into a hovering tabletop. So walk the hands forward, coming into your tabletop position. So wrist underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, but we lift off the floor just a little bit. So we're engaging the core here, waking up the front of the body. Okay, a little challenge here. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up, and then extend into three-legged dog. Just take a moment here. Inhale, as you exhale, bring the left knee to the left elbow or the left tricep. Just hold it here for a second, and then we drop that left foot to the outside of the left hand and drop down onto the right knee. So you might want to shimmy that foot out a little bit more so that the wrist can be underneath the shoulders. If you feel any pressure on the knee, you're welcome to just open the toes toward the long side of the mat. That should feel a bit better. We're going to do 3 dynamic movements here, so maybe this is where you will need a block or a book. Otherwise, just do whatever you can. Work with what you have. The hands stay planted on the floor, and we start to straighten out through that left leg. It doesn't have to be completely straight. Even if it's bent, it's fine. We just want to invite movement into the body. Then move forward again into your lizard lunge, and then straighten out the left leg again. Again, move forward. Last time back, straighten it out. And then move forward again, and this time we'll just stay in our lizard lunge for a moment. So you can stay on the hands, or maybe if it's accessible to you, you can come down onto the forearms. And maybe find some stillness in this pose. You're also welcome to come onto the outside of that left foot. If that feels a bit more comfortable, we're all going to go there just now anyway. So wherever you are, whether you're on your hand or on the forearms, we're all going to go into a twist. So you come onto the outside of the left foot and you twist up, bringing the left hand to the inside of the left knee, and we look up to the ceiling. Again, here you have control to gently push that leg open, but again, please just be mindful and gentle. No extreme pushing or stretching here. Good. We release back. Come onto the hands. We're going to transition back into a three-legged dog and from there into pigeon. So tuck the toes of the right foot under, lift the right leg up, send that left foot back into three-legged dog, bend through the left knee, and send that left knee over to the right-hand side. So you're stacking the left hip on top of the right, looking underneath the left armpit. Should feel good. From here, we're going straight into pigeon pose. So bring that knee into the chest, hover here for a moment, and then we drop the left knee behind the left wrist and sink low, coming onto the right knee. So we're not flopping from one side to the other, but we're staying nice and lifted. Determine the intensity with the left foot. So the further it is forward, the more intense it will be. Just go to whatever level feels good. We'll take an inhale, lift the chest, maybe look up to the ceiling, and then exhale, release it down to whatever level. You're welcome to stay on the hands or on the forearms, or maybe all the way down. And just let go as much as you can. Can be a challenging pose, but it feels so good. Now you can just chill here if this is good enough for you already. Otherwise, we're going to include 2 twists. So if you want to go there, you thread the right hand behind the left, release the right shoulder down to the floor, and the head releases down. The left hand can stay next to your face, or you can wrap it all the way around toward the right hip, or maybe even grab hold of that toe. A nice closed circuit. And you should feel a deeper stretch in that left glute. If at any point it's too intense, just back out and come to your normal pigeon pose. So if you're doing the twist, we're going to move over to the other side now, just to feel a different sensation. So this time we thread the left behind the right arm, and we release the left shoulder to the floor. And again, you can use that right hand as kind of a kickstand to keep you lifted, or maybe wrap that arm all the way around to the left hip, maybe even tucking the fingers in between the thighs and the torso. won't stay here for very long. Nice. Wherever you are in your twist, just come back to neutral. Lift onto the hands, and we're going to go back to down dog. Should feel really good just to get that blood flowing again. So tuck the toes of the right foot under and move into your down dog. Nice. And here, just make any movements that feel good. So you want to just give that hip some love. And while you're here, you can also just feel how one side might feel a bit different from the other after you've worked that left hip. And we'll go to the other side now. So take an inhale, reach that right leg up to the sky. Then come forward into your plank pose, bringing the right knee to the right shoulder or the right tricep. And with control, step that right foot next to the right hand. And we drop down onto the left knee into our lizard. Good. We'll do 3 dynamics first before we settle. So we're going to straighten out the right leg, move back, and then bend through the knee, move forward. Hips nice and low. Then again, straighten out the leg and move forward again. Last time, straighten it out. And then bend through the knee again, coming forward. And same as on the other side, you can either stay on the hands here or make your way down onto the elbows. A reminder, if there's pressure on the knee, just open the toes out to the side or come onto the outside of that right foot. We'll be here for about 3 breaths. Now, wherever you are on the hands or on the elbows, we're going to move into our twist now. So come onto the outside of that right foot, opening the knee up. Twist the torso around, right hand to the inside of the right knee, and we look up to the ceiling, gently opening up through that hip, pushing the knee away. And we release. Bring the right hand down to the floor again and come on to both hands. Tuck the toes of the left foot. Lift up that knee and send the right foot all the way back. And bend through the right knee and open up through the hip, stacking the right hip on top of the left. Should feel really good on the right hand side. Now we'll transition into our pigeon pose. So first bring the knee into the chest as you move into your plank pose. Hold it here for a second, activating our strength. And then we drop the right knee behind the right wrist. And from here, release down into your pigeon pose. Staying on top of the left knee, not falling from one side to the other. Determine your intensity. Then take an inhale, arch through the back, look up, and exhale, release down to wherever is comfortable for you. And if one side feels a bit tighter than the other, just allow it to be. Do not try to push and overextend into symmetry. You'll gradually work your way to that. Now, if you're happy here, wherever you are, you can stay there. If you want to again move into the twists, we'll do so now. So threading the left hand behind the right, bringing the left shoulder down to the floor. Release the head down. The right hand can stay next to you, or you can wrap it around. Just relaxing it on the back or grabbing hold of the toe of the right foot. Feel that nice glute stretch on the right hand side. We'll transition to the twist on the other side, so release that right hand, lift yourself up, and now thread the right hand behind the left, release right shoulder down onto the leg or toward the floor, and you can keep the left hand next to the face for support or wrap it around and maybe tucking the hand between the thighs and the torso. If you know we're close to that, don't worry. You're still getting the benefits of this pose. Just make it comfortable for yourself and so that you still feel a nice stretch. And let's release. Bring that hand back. We'll all meet on the hands and we tuck the left toes under. Lift up and send that right foot back into down dog. I always love the feeling after pigeon pose when I come back to my downward facing dog. Just to get everything flowing. Maybe you want to sway the hips from side to side. Any intuitive movement is always welcome. Your body is very clever. Allow it to guide you. Alright, from here we're transitioning down to the floor again and we'll go through squat. So the feet are again about hip width distance apart, maybe even a bit further. The toes face the long sides of the mat. You walk the hands back and sit into squat pose, Malasana. Hands to heart center, lengthen through the spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. And from here, with elegance and control, or not, doesn't matter, we're going to sit back onto the bum. Good. For our final poses, we're going to do a bit of a creative bridge pose. So make your way all the way down to the floor. The heels coming close. Knees are about hip width distance apart. Hands next to your side for support. And as you inhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. Nice and high. Okay, now see where your hips are here and see if you can keep them there as we extend one leg. So ground down through that left foot and then reach the right leg up to the sky. Keep the hips lifted. I know it's a bit of a challenge. From here we're going to come into a figure 4. So you're going to bring that right foot to the left knee, creating that figure 4 shape and maybe even drawing that right knee down to the floor a little bit, just to feel it in the hip. Lots going on here. One more breath, you've got this. And then we release down. Keep the shape of the legs as they are and just release onto the back. From here we're going to move straight into a twist. So you just want to drop both legs down to the left hand side so that right sole of the foot comes down to the floor. I can already feel the stretch in my glute here. So if it's accessible to you, you can grab hold of that left foot with the right hand. So really drawing yourself into a deep twist and maybe grabbing hold of that right ankle and pulling the feet toward you. So we're working toward keeping both shoulders down on the floor. If you can't grab hold of that foot, don't worry, you'll still get the twist. And we'll release out. So just hug both knees into the chest, neutralize, maybe rock from side to side a little bit. And luckily we only have 2 legs. We'll go to the other side and then we'll move into our relaxation. So bring the soles of the feet to the floor again. Heels staying close. The knees hip width distance apart, more or less. And we take an inhale and lift the hips up to the ceiling. Now again, check in with the height of the hips. Try and keep it there as we extend the left leg up to the sky. Just do what you can today. Let's move into our figure 4. So the left heel to the right knee. Stay lifted through the hips. Draw the left knee down toward the floor. And now keeping the shape of the legs, we're just going to release the back down all the way to the floor. Sweet release. And then drop both legs over to the right hand side, bringing the left sole of the foot to the floor, grabbing hold of the ankle if that's accessible to you. And then you can shimmy that right foot toward the left hand and maybe grab hold of the toes. Again, lots happening here. Just go as far as you can. I really enjoy this because I get a nice stretch in that left glute. Maybe you just in your figure 4, your fallen figure 4, perfectly fine too. Good, and we release, untangle the legs and hug both knees into the chest. And as usual, I recommend doing any intuitive movement here. Listen to your body, whatever feels good. Maybe straightening out the legs, maybe even a happy baby, or maybe you're just ready to move into your Shavasana. Take your time and we'll meet in Shavasana. The feet are mat width distance apart, arms next to the torso, a bit of space between the torso and the arms, and the palms of the hands face up. Close the eyes and relax. So we're back where we started in Shavasana. And again, we tune in with the breath. We feel the body in contact with the mat. And maybe look back at your practice and ask yourself whether you were able to stay present in your practice and on your mat. It requires mental practice to stay present. Probably one of the most challenging parts of yoga. But it's really great to train that skill so that you can stay focused and present in your day-to-day life. We'll just stay here for 1 or 2 minutes. Allowing our bodies to take in and absorb the changes that we've made throughout our practice today. welcome to stay here as long as you want, as long as you need. But if you're ready to come out, you can start to deepen the breath, start to move the toes and fingers, wake up the body. Take a deep inhalation and again reach the arms up overhead, stretching from the fingertips to the toes. And exhale, hug knees into chest. And in whatever way you can make your way back up to seated, maybe rolling onto the side first, then coming back up. We meet and seated with eyes closed and hands to heart center. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be protected from inner and outer dangers. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you be happy and find true peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining again, yogis. I hope you enjoyed this hip opener. I know there were a few funky poses in between, but I'm sure you did great. We're just about moving the body, stretching it, and strengthening it. So whatever degree you did today, you did it right. And well done for showing up. You can be proud of yourself. I definitely am. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. A reminder, as always, go and check out my channel for personal development episodes. This week is all about what you are saying no to in your life when you say yes to unnecessary things. Only a 5-minute video, so quick and easy. Go and check it out. I'll see you again in the next video, and much love to you.